Now, last but not least with Mrs. Huang, I saw this comment a lot about her possibly being the child of Mark and Gemma, or maybe even being a clone of Gemma. Now, personally, I don't see her being the child because of the timing of what we know about their relationship. Now, we don't know how long Mark and Gemma were together before getting married, and we don't know how long they were together in general before her death or alleged death, but we know that Mark had his severance procedure shortly after Gemma's death, again, alleged death, and that was 2 years back. So the math doesn't really add up to me. Now, we do know that Mark mentioned on his date with Alexa back in season 1 that him and Gemma tried to have kids but didn't have any luck in doing so. But again, I don't see her being their child to be a big reveal in the season, but hey, I could be wrong. Now, addressing the other part about her being like a younger version of Gemma or a clone of Gemma, that to me is very interesting, and I want you all to just take a look at this clip.
I believe Miss Casey is a clone of Gemma, which is why she behaves so strangely. This could explain what the goats are for, cloning experimentation.
And what MDR does.
Identifying abnormalities in clone genome sequences.
This sounds like what Lumon would be doing in like a super boring version of Severance.
You should ask that. Why, you're on the trail, son. No, I'm just kidding. You are very far off and wrong. Bing!
Now, that came from a recent interview with Entertainment Weekly, so take that as you will. Cloning could be off the table, or just playing devil's advocate. Their response was directly in relation to that particular question and not necessarily removing the idea that clones could be in the picture. But I'll end this section of Mrs. Huang by throwing this out there. What if she's some type of genetically made child of Mark and Gemma? Remember when they were playing that ball game, we saw Mark seeing Gemma's face. Could that be the show hinting at the possible connection between the three characters?